So today we're looking at some plugins. This plugin, the Hawk Phaser by Safari Pedals. Just want to mention right from the start, this is provided by Safari Pedals. They're not paying me for this video, but they gave me a free copy of the plugin, and thank you, Safari Pedals. Now, what is the Hawk Phaser? You may ask. Well, it's a phaser in plugin form with a two-headed hawk on it. Yes, I'm going to check it out into a clean amp, dirty amp. It's all guitar stuff. This is a guitar channel, so timestamps for everything below. Also, if there's anything in particular you want to see with Safari Pedal plugins in another video, let me know in the comments below, and I'll see if I can get access to the plugin or do some videos. We'll see how that all goes. Comments below. All right, let's check out the layout. So basically we have an input gain and we have an output gain. There's a button up here called auto gain. Now if you click that button, they're kind of linked together. If you unclick that, they're not linked together. You have a bypass button, which is kind of the same as this button, but it's still there. You have a depth control and a rate control, so they kind of work together. So it's the LFO that creates the phasing. Depth makes it go deeper or shallower. Rate makes it go faster or slower. You have a feedback control. Basically, what it does is it regenerates the phaser back into itself, and it gives you that more metallic-y kind of sound, basically, as you turn it up. And then you have a filter control, which is kind of cool because the filter control, with that, you can focus certain frequencies more. It's almost like a Q control where you want the phaser to sit. Do you want to sit it in the higher frequencies and lower frequencies in the middle somewhere, so you can do all that with that. Then you also have a blend control from all wet to all dry, and you have a width control, which gives you sort of stereo spread. That's the word. Up here you've got this, where currently it says default, but these are all the presets. Now this is pre-release, so there may be different presets, or some presets may not be there, or I don't know, but this is just what's here when I'm doing it. You can go between up to the next preset, back to the previous preset here. You can save a preset and you can trash a preset with all the buttons up here. You can also, which is very good when you're doing videos like me and you're looking at this from a distance, you can resize stuff. All right, now setup wise, I'm going to be using this just because I feel like it today. I'm going to be using this Squier Starcaster, Contemporary Starcaster, which I really quite like. It's all stock. There's a video for it up here with super hot pickups. Now that goes via my Strobostomp, Peterson Strobostomp HD tuner, which is always on my desk, into the DI input on my Audient ID44 interface, and then straight into Logic. Now I did a video, and you can watch the video up here, and I linked to the description below as well, about all the different terms when it comes to interfaces and the inputs. You can have DI inputs and mic inputs and line inputs, or mic level, line level, instrument level, different impedances with switches and all that sort of stuff. If that stuff may be confusing and your results may sound quite different to mine, maybe check out that video. It's in the description below as well. It may help out. It may not, but it may. Now, also should mention, for an amplifier, I'm using this Wes Borland STL tonality plugin, which I really, really like, and there's a video for it up here as well. I'm just using the Roland JC120 style amp. I'm going to the high input on channel 1 with everything at 12 o'clock, except for the volume is down a bit. Cabinet wise, I'm just using that. It was whatever was there when I went to it. I'm not using any of the effects. So this is basically just a clean sound. Yeah. That's that. Now I've got two instances of the Hawk Phaser, one in front of the amp, one after the amp. We're going to start off with the one after the amp because that gives you stereo width, which you don't have on the other one, on the pre, because it's mono. All right, well, let's check out the default sound. This is what the default sound sounds like if you turn it on the Hawk Phaser. Now let's check out a couple of presets and then go into sort of, more in depth. Let's check out the ones that say guitar on it. So what about clean funk guitar sweep? Very funky. Funky sweep. Check out some more guitar ones. So we've got drums, strings, synth. It's just a deep sweep. That sounds interesting. So with that, you can also see the filters up higher, so it emphasizes high frequencies. Guitar phaser 80s. I'll do distorted stuff later on. It's very subtle. High frequency madness. It sure is. What about? Well, it's not. It's an electric guitar, but let's go acoustic guitar. It's a nice sounding phaser. Distortion guitar, we'll do that later. Swirl guitar. It's swirly. Any other guitar presets? My brain spacing out. That's kind of cool. Let's make it wider. That one, my brain spacing out. What else is there? Where was I? My brain spacing out. Raster delay return. Smooth guitars. Let's do a. Just gives that nice swirl. That's quite nice. I like smooth guitars. Spaced out guitars. Vocal hawk magic. There you go, there's that. Let's go back to default and let's just play around with it. So basically you've got an input. You can kind of hit, it's almost like a little preamp sort of thing. You can hit the input stage. You've got an output stage, which is just your volume. Now let's check out the depth. Now with the feedback control, you can go from a more subtle sounding phaser to more in your face. It does that sort of, gets more metallic-y sounding. Now let's check out the width. So with the width all the way down, it's very sort of narrow right in the middle. With the width all the way up, it just sort of widens the spectrum of it. It doesn't really do like a stereo swirly sound. It does it just widens the guitar. Actually, let's leave it at feedback all the way up, because then you can hear it the most. Let's now play with the filter. So currently we're sitting at 2.8 kilohertz. Now if I turn this down, it's very bass heavy. If I turn it up, it gets very top end heavy. Almost slightly painfully top end in here anyway. So you can sort of say whether you want it to be a more high-end heavy or a bit more low-end heavy phaser, basically. I actually quite liked it down here, but then maybe turn the feedback down a bit. I think that sounds pretty good. Now let's try the same thing, right? So this is now, this is the this is sitting in front of it. This is sitting before the amp. So this is before, this is after the amp. Let's do the same settings. So we have it about here, about there. Depth is all the way up. Filter is sitting about here. Feedback is sitting about there. And the rate is about there. So you don't, the difference is you don't have the width control. Let's turn the blend all the way up as well. And now see what it sounds like. The difference between it in front of the amp and after the amp. This is after the amp. With the stereo width as well. And this is in front. It's much more focused in the center, and it kind of sounds like running a phaser into an amplifier. It's a mono signal because it's a mono amplifier. If you stick it after, it just creates this sort of width, stereo width. Now let's try that same sound again, but let's try, for example, a dirty amp. So instead of having a clean amp, let's just go, instead of amp 1, let's go to amp 2, and let's go to channel 3. I don't know how loud. Oh, could be loud. Let's turn the volume down a bit. So this is the distortion sounds. Let's try the same thing again. So this is now in front of the amp. This is after the amp. That sounds really cool. Now let's, for example, with this, and I'm peaking stuff, so maybe we should turn the output volume down a little bit. Now with that, let's also turn, I've got the yak delay here, and there's a video for the yak delay up here. If we turn this on now, this is just set to those settings. It gives you beautiful stereo sound. But this is a driven amp. Actually, let's get rid of the... So this is the driven amp with the Hawk phaser, and then the Hawk phaser going into the yak delay. Back to the clean amp. I don't know what to do. Oh yeah, let's go. I was thinking, what am I going to do now? Let's crank the gain. Actually, let's go into this channel. That's the amp sound. With the phaser. That's the Hawk phaser, kind of. It's a phaser, a few different controls. I really quite like the filter control. You can get it that get that really low end kind of thumpy sort of phaser sound, or you can get rid of that if you want a more high end kind of thing. Gives you a little bit of control of it. The width control is beautiful as well. It's nice to have the blends, the capability of having blends, so you can have some clean signal in there as well. I quite like it all the way up. I'm someone always for more extreme settings in general, so but that's just me. So that's the Hawk Phaser by Safari Pedals. If there's anything else you want to see with the Hawk Phaser or any other Safari pedals, let me know in the comments below and I'll do my best to do more videos with it. Big thank you to Safari Pedals for sending this out to us. And I'm going to put a playlist of all the Safari Pedal stuff I've done in the past here, and you should watch it. You should click on this and watch it now. See ya. Bye.